In a creepy abandoned place, YouTuber Alberto Del Arco captures a passing ghost on camera. First, they hear a distant scream.
¿Oíste?
Como un grito de una niña.
Sí, sí, ¿lo oíste?
Un grito muy agudo.
Muy agudo, muy agudo.
Y se escucha,
Sí.
Then they spy this dark figure at the end of a corridor.
Ay, güey.
¿Quién es, güey?
While the figure is too far away and indistinct to definitely confirm that it's a ghost, you can see that it does move. Someone is there with them, ghost or living being. I wouldn't stick around to find out. A YouTuber named RFam is doing a gym vlog when their punching bag begins moving on its own. Slowly at first, but gaining momentum over time. So even if she pushed it herself, it should slow down over time and eventually settle down. But that's not what happens at all. She dances for almost 10 minutes and the punching bag sways back and forth the entire time. What I can't understand is how she dances so close and doesn't notice the whole time. I guess she must have really been into her routine. There's no strings attached to the piece of equipment, and aside from this explanation, I can't think of any other way she could have faked it. This medicine ball also starts moving in the exact same way with no one touching it, at least no one that I can see, and no shadows on the wall to indicate someone off camera. Again, I can't believe she walks right by, but I suppose she simply feels comfortable at home and isn't exactly looking for anything out of the ordinary. A group of ghost hunters called PXTV go deep in the Wombwell Woods, a haunted forest in the UK where many people sadly go to take their lives. They split up to cover maximum ground, and one of them, Steve, finds a spot he deems suitable to begin an EVP session, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. He sets up his EVP box and asks any spirits nearby to make a light go on. When it does, he asks for 2 lights, but gets this verbal warning instead.
Can you make 2 lights light up? Ovulus has just said run.
But something descends upon Steve before he gets a chance to do as told. I didn't exactly see anything, but Steve says that he was pushed out of the way by something nearby. And when he looks at his EVP box, the translator displays the word run written in all capitals. I'm not sure if there's any way to tamper with these devices and make them say pre-programmed messages or not, but assuming this video really is unaltered, then the evidence is all right there to see. Who's there? Redditor Sal 26 Serrano says remodeling was being done in this vacant apartment complex of 4, and the owner of the property was downstairs with him at the time. So who is making this noise? Did you hear it? There's definitely someone there, but whether they're supposed to be there or not is the next question. My guess would be this place has squatters. As we all know, ghosts can walk through walls. Here's video proof, published by Full Horror Dose in April of 2022. This scary footage was captured on CCTV in the hall of what appears to be a school building. In one of the cameras, a woman is seen in the hallway. She turns toward the wall and after pausing for a moment, walks right on through it. On closer inspection, there doesn't appear to be a doorway, elevator, or any entry here to explain her seeming disappearance. The way she moves so tentatively is also strange, and her figure vanishes right into the flat surface. What do you think? Is this a real ghost in action? If not that or clever editing, what could possibly be going on in this building? Even dogs have the sense to beware of this spirit. Published by Scary Desk in January of 2022, a security camera captured 2 dogs in an alleyway, acting suspicious. The dogs are seen watching something as of yet unseen. They then start to move away down the alley, looking over their shoulders. That's when the camera captures this shadow figure moving down the alley. The figure is distorted at first, but then becomes more human in form as it moves down the pike. Still, the figure is not solid, but a semi-transparent shadow. Some in the comments think the video has been manipulated, while others say they've seen ghosts like this and believe the footage is authentic. Whatever the case, the dogs definitely see the figure, or sense that it's there. What do you think? I think something mysterious is going on here. A Texas A&M University student in Corpus Christi, who goes by the name of Fiffertisor, has been hearing noises in his dorm room for quite some time. What began as an occasional knocking noise now, months into the semester, has developed into persistent paranormal sounds, stuff like footsteps coming from an empty room. This red line at 15 seconds is where the far wall is, so like I said, no one is in there, except for a poltergeist. No one could have lifted this mattress, because the room is too small for anyone to hide. Next to the mattress is a closet that's empty and that's it, nothing else. Now the bathroom door opens and closes, yet he finds no one inside of the tiny space either, and this area is even smaller than the room before. In all fairness, there are 2 seconds of darkness from 46 seconds to 48 seconds that I guess could mark a spot where he might have stopped recording, let someone out of the bathroom, and then started recording again to make it look empty. I didn't see any such transition in the first room with the mattress, so my gut instinct says this event is real. A YouTuber named SPRT Life is going to investigate some train tracks that are rumored to be haunted by an inhuman creature. The tracks are reportedly hard to cross and very narrow. Numerous people are said to have been run over or fallen to their doom. They sneak past a fence and it isn't long before they hear strange noises from an unseen beast. They soon find a set of tracks elevated high off the ground. The bottom is pitch black and they can't even see how high up they are. One of them gets a little too bold and goes out a long distance.
No, we're not out that far.
No, if you look down, you're out that far, you'll die.
Then, as if right on time, the worst equipment malfunction possible occurs.
Oh my god.
Alex, my light won't come back on.
Suspended high above ground in total darkness, this YouTuber hears a train horn.
There's a train coming. There's a train. Get your boots. Get your boots, Tyler.
The group of friends now blindly races ahead, desperately trying not to fall off the tracks or get run over. Finally, with the track fast approaching, they are forced to jump. As you can see here, they barely make it out alive as the train passes overhead. Fortunately, they had cleared most of the track, and it was only about a 5-foot drop instead of 30. The only thing that saved them that night was their own speed. As for what caused their flashlights to turn off, the group has little doubt that it was the very same creature that the legend spoke of. A phantom drifts past, never to be seen or heard from again. Published by Tammy Jackson in December of 2019, this Ring camera footage captured something incredibly eerie in this person's yard. The footage shows a pale, full-bodied figure drifting across the yard. No features are discernible. It then appears to vanish. That's when the motion-activated lights on the garage are triggered. They shine brightly, casting light all across the yard, but there's nothing there. A house light also appears to be triggered, but still nothing else appears in the yard. Do ghosts trigger motion sensors? If not a ghost, who is this? I guess we'll never know for sure. Sometimes ghosts are just forewarning you about what's around the corner. YouTuber Paranormal Voyages shares this freaky short in which he's speaking to a spirit through a spirit box.
I just seen a shadow.
Was that you?
Whoa!
The spirit literally tells him the bat's in, and a moment later, well, the bat's in. It feels pretty hard to be a skeptic after that series of events. A YouTuber named Jem Parks lost his grandmother over 10 years ago, but her spirit still appears to linger in her old empty property, which his family has maintained ever since her passing. Jem Parks timidly enters the house and crosses the living room, walking by her wooden rocking chair. Doors keep slamming shut wherever he goes. It's almost as if his grandmother wants her privacy, or maybe she is trying to keep him away from something she doesn't want him to see. Then, as Jem Parks turns a corner, he records this. A pale figure peers at him from the darkened doorway on the right. Here it is again if you missed it. The obvious explanation is special effects, but the answer no one, not even Jem Parks, wants to accept is that this could be the twisted incarnation of his grandmother. When demons get aggressive, then it's time to be really afraid. Published by Realidad Alterna in November of 2021, this scary video shows a terrifying, malignant incident caught on camera, captured in a scary haunted house. Tim sets up his camera and immediately hears a strange noise behind him. As he's reading something out loud, a window pane starts opening and shutting like mad. The lights start flashing in both rooms, and later, with the night vision on, a chair comes flying out of another room. It doesn't look like it's thrown, rather like it rises, but the scariest part is yet to come. As Tim reads a ritual out loud, a chair comes flying behind him, knocking him over, and seated into the chair. Later, he hears strange knocking from the basement. And when he goes to investigate, creepy groans sound distantly, but they seem like they're all around him. There is something truly to fear in this demon house. Are you ready to face it? A YouTube channel called Barb's Buzzin' takes a chance buying a fish off the dark web. Whoever sent this blacked out the bag so we can't see what's inside. Anything could be in there. Maybe even something dangerous. Or maybe it's just sensitive to light? At first it looks like nothing is there, but then they almost poured the slimy mystery pet onto the floor by accident.
Get it done quick. There's no fish in here. There's no fish. There's nothing in this. What the
They aren't sure if it's even alive until they see a tiny circular object moving in the center. They think this could be a shark egg, but I just want to be sure, so take a look and let me know what you think this bizarre gift could be.
Absolutely insane. Look at his head right there. He's
been built for it. That's the
legit
cool part.
swimming around.
I definitely see a striped tail at the very end, so maybe it is a shark and not something super nefarious after all. Leaked aerial footage was taken in late 2006. A formation of Italian fighter jets returned to base after conducting some training exercises when one of them, the one shown here, notices a thick black cloud fast approaching and only has moments to react.
Come? Sta passando aeroplano in mezzo a noi.
He performs an emergency maneuver and barely avoids a commercial airliner full of civilian passengers at the last possible second. Thankfully, his training kicked in because the much larger jetliner could not have changed its course. Look again and you'll see they come close enough to almost clip wings. If they had collided, no one would have survived. This worrisome video I'm about to show you was posted on March 18th of 2017 by a person who had been teetering on the edge of self-destruction for years.
Things are much worse this time. Something seems to be after me. I don't know what else to say. Except goodbye.
You'll never guess what he does next, but first let me tell you what he has been through. His psychological torment would begin in early 2015, approximately 2 years before his final goodbye. That was when someone began knocking at his door almost every night for days. He lives all alone and is a very private person, so introverted in fact that we never learn his name. For him to have a visitor is not normal, let alone in the middle of the night. The knocks were annoying at first, but he figured it would stop if he ignored it. But when that didn't work, he decided to start documenting everything early on, in case he needed to take it to the police or something later. He also decided to confront it and defend himself if need be. This incident, taken on February 12, 2015, starts with 2 knocks that are so soft, it would be easy to think you're imagining them. But after 3 weeks of harassment, he is frazzled and hears every noise, so he springs to action ready to meet force with force, but there's just one problem. Nothing is ever there to confront. Listen closely to this part, because I hear chatter after he locks up. He installs a second camera outside the very next night on February 13th, 2015, Friday the 13th to be exact. Sure enough, it starts again. He opens the door and no one's there. It's not 2 different videos put together either, because his movements in both videos sync perfectly, like at 1 minute and 15 seconds when he smooths his hair. Even if he practiced this routine, it still wouldn't be this dead on. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that this happens at 3 a.m. every night. Anyone would want to move and he absolutely did, but his money situation meant he couldn't either continue to endure this or go homeless in the middle of the winter. Eventually, he decides to go outside before 3 a.m. and see if he can catch whatever or whoever is doing this on video. He doesn't see them, but he does find footprints leading away from his house into the woods. The footprint is separated in 2 halves, more like a hoof print than a foot, yet 2 legs instead of 4. Some people have said this could be a demon or even a cryptid. I don't know about all of that, but I know that he really did go out at 3 a.m. and I know this because I hear a train throughout the video. Oddly enough, this late night train is heard in all of his videos, and I think could be closely related. Something bad must have happened on the nearby tracks. By August 28th, whatever had left those footprints was looking for other ways inside both day and night. No longer was it confined to 3 a.m. Tell me if this is an animal or something way worse. I didn't hear any claws tapping. This was the sound of somebody fast. A raccoon or a possum would be doing this at nighttime. This was something big in the middle of the day, like a restless spirit. So after years of experiencing this and other similar encounters, perhaps you'll better understand why. After saying goodbye in March of 2017, he simply decided to open up the door and stop.
Goodbye.
Whatever that was, it sounded far from being a person. Over 2 years later, this mysterious final video was uploaded on January 1st, 2019. Those sound like church bells. Maybe this is a clip taken from a funeral. Could it be his? And whoever typed these replies doesn't act like him at all. A Twitch streamer named Nikki is at the height of her game when her stream ends in a way that absolutely no one in her chat could have predicted.
TP back home. What are you doing?
Nikki jumps up to see what's wrong and is greeted with shouting demands. If you can understand what she is trying to say back to them, then please let me know.
Please TP. Let's get boots.
A strange man briefly comes in and begins ransacking the house for valuables. You would think that's where their plans would end, but apparently the plan was also to force them to go to the bank and make large cash withdrawals. Thankfully, her viewers called the police quickly, and at least one of the assailants was caught on the spot. Still, for just a regular stream, this ending is extremely unexpected. I'm just happy the residents of the home were okay.
I know. Look, that's actually so creepy, dude. There's a guy right there, and I'm kind of freaked out, not gonna lie.
Blake Gray fears he's captured, something that would terrify all of us behind the dumpster of an abandoned building while exploring. His brave friend slowly creeps up.
He started moving.
So obviously this was a skit that was pre-planned, right? Wrong. Let's analyze what they were wearing on the day they captured this mysterious figure. Ripped jeans, skinny jeans, blue jean shorts. The mysterious stranger is wearing khakis. So yeah, this creepy event is scary and most importantly could be real. The person is still alive, but to what degree is unknown. A twitch of the leg could mean asleep or barely alive. If this is real, then I hope they notified the proper authorities to come make sure whoever this is still alive. Sometimes you can just sense evil in places, sometimes in your very own home. Posted in the very spooky video subreddit by Big Daddy Marco, the Redditor writes that he is quarantined in a haunted house. Originally published to YouTube by Donnie Drunkard, he writes, "Since being in quarantine, the paranormal and haunted activity has manifested in poltergeist activity on an almost daily basis. I believe the entity is demonic in nature." Terry explains that this is an update and recap of footage caught on his live stream. He also says that he thinks there's more than one spirit in his home. Using a paranormal tool that captures movement, the recap shows that something is indeed present in the hallway, and its presence is made known on more than one occasion. The kinetic image appears. In the last clip, he tells the thing to leave, and after a moment it does as he commands.
Trespass against us. I'm shaking so bad right now, man.
It disappears from the monitor. Some in the comments suggest that Terry get a demonologist into his home to take this thing on. What would you do if you sensed, heard, and saw a demonic spirit in your home? Would you stay or would you go? Live TV caught the earth-trembling tsunami that smashed into Japan. After a magnitude 9 quake on March 11, 2011, the images that followed are pretty terrifying. The earthquake was so powerful that it was felt everywhere, from the fjords in Norway to the ice sheet of Antarctica. It was so powerful that it redistributed the Earth's mass and shifted it on its axis. Our day's length has been cut short by a microsecond. It was so powerful that Honshu, Japan's main island, was moved about 8 feet east, and as the tsunami traversed the Pacific, 110,000 nesting seabirds were taken out by the 5-foot wave. It was so powerful that aftershocks continued to hit Japan during the year that followed, 5,000 to be exact. It was so powerful that 6 years later, and the tsunami's devastation is still being dealt with in Japan, where of the 150,000 evacuees still left, whose homes were lost to the quake, a third are still in temporary housing. As for the cost of damages in US dollars, it rang in at about 199 billion, but because the earthquake was followed up by the tsunami, and both were unexpected, the 2-in-1 had devastating results. It got worse. A cooling system failure resulted from the tsunami at the Fukushima nuclear power plant, releasing radioactive materials. A horrible event in and of itself. Told you, nature can be terrifying. Nothing like heading out to the old barn in the middle of the night. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by the Comics Man, and originally posted to YouTube in April of 2020 by the channel Me and Some Dudes. Comics Man writes, thought I saw something at 1 minute 19 seconds. Don't know. Let's take a look and find out. The guy filming sets out to show us his barn at night. He notes that there's a shed full of roosters to the side, and sometimes they go berserk. He says when they do, and he goes to check on them, the door is always open. His theory is that there are bunnies or raccoons living beneath the barn, but how would they open the door? Eugene Krabs in the YouTube comments points out at around 1 minute 18 seconds that something appears to duck down behind the gray thing in the barn. Do you see it? We can only hope it's a raccoon and not something creepier. It's 12 in the morning when this stranger starts creeping along the side of a fence in slow and even steps, as if in a deep trance. He has an old portable radio on full volume, and he doesn't say anything, just slowly turns the knob. Occasionally, he pauses long enough to stare through the fence without saying a word. His radio does plenty of communicating though, and this part is especially weird. The radio just so happens to say something about walking away here. They reach the end of the chain link fence and nothing separates the two. The video ends with a really long stare down that the strange man easily wins. He reaches into his coat pocket for something, and the cameraman bolts for cover. A smart decision. Jack Cook's son Michael has been acting strange for days, not like himself at all. He is normally a happy child, but he is visibly agitated during his birthday, and seems to channel all of his anger into a single act of defiance when it comes time to blow out the candles.
Day to you. Michael, make a wish. Cheer up, big guy, cheer up.
His father can't believe what he just witnessed and orders his son to do it again. Sure enough, Michael somehow is controlling the flames with his mind. The obvious answer is somebody is blowing out the candles off camera, but I don't hear anything. Watch the father's explanation and tell me if you think his emotions are real or simply good acting skills.
It's been a week now since Michael went into the hospital, and doctors don't know what's wrong with him.
Shadows can be tricky things. Sometimes they're natural, other times they lean more towards the paranormal. This one seems to be the latter. Posted on Reddit by user Ukire. The Redditor writes that he still has goosebumps after receiving this clip. Some in the comments admitted to being upset with yet another orb post. But then, after watching it all the way through, their yearning for nightmare fuel was rewarded. Although it just looks like the still image of a cell. Wait for it, and wait for it, and wait for it some more, and you just might be rewarded too. The Redditor wrote that his friend works the night shift here at this institution in a former police station. The room where this is filmed is not in current use, but in the past was a place where people checked out of custody. Some in the comments say the video looks legit, others pointed out a creepy long face that makes a split-second appearance. Most in the thread comes to a consensus that this happenstance is very creepy and goosebump-inducing. Could it be a haunting, or something worse? Whatever it might be, it's certainly mysterious. A person cautiously follows a winding road at night using only the light on their phone to guide them. They sense danger on the right and look over. Nothing is there, but their feeling of being watched does not go away. So they look over again, and that's when they make contact. A short creature with a portly body atop long legs does its best to escape the flashlight. At 1 minute and 36 seconds, we see that the overall gray coloring of the creature, when under the light, does match the rest of the background remarkably well. There's no obvious blurring around the edges of the creature either, which indicates that this may in fact be authentic, unedited footage. This bizarre video caught my attention on the Chills Narrator subreddit. West for President is taking a trip in Bergen, Norway, filming some birds at the harbor, when something really creepy caught him by surprise.
Ah, yeah, bird. What the No. Oh, okay. What the Is that a face? Oh, what the
When he zooms in on this odd rat-like face, it is sticking out from the tunnel. I don't know if this tunnel is haunted or has an oversized creature problem or what, but it's enough to make West for President hold his scream in as he runs away. I would say that it's part of the structure, but there's no identical part on the other side of the wall. I don't know what it is, but if he thinks it's far from normal, then that's good enough for me. Crazy EVPs and spiritual mists run amok in the haunted Skinner's Tavern. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Paranormal Purgatory writes, "We captured what looks like a spirit trying to manifest in the doorway." They also captured some insane dialogues with the Beyond as they attempted to communicate with the spirits inside this haunted place.
See it for a little bit. See it for a little bit. See if we can hear anything.
After an EVP translates a spirit whispering, "All pretty I am," a partial manifestation is caught in this doorway.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right in the middle of the entry, you can see a trace of a ghostly mist as the camera pans around. The Redditor doesn't appear to notice it in the moment, as he calmly asks the house at large if he can get a drink. Don't blame him, he's probably gonna need a drink again when he plays this back. This YouTuber is exploring the Tallacker Abbey in Wales when he notices a strange animal face in the stone. It's hard to see at first, but you can make out the face of a pig here. This prompts him and his group to examine the area more closely. Eventually discovering a series of even more startling finds, they soon realize that this is not a natural rock formation, but rather some kind of ritualistic stone altar from ancient times past. The smooth surface was probably used for some sort of human and animal offerings.
Proper saints on it, little church thing there.
Finally, he zooms in on the clawed feet of the altar, and the video ends shortly thereafter. It's hard to say whether this is some kind of stage prop, or if they really did stumble across a hidden evil deep within an old cave. The friends seem more curious than scared, which is a strange reaction, but then again, if I was there, I probably wouldn't know what to think either. Overall, I'd say this video has a good chance of being real, but I would like to get some other opinions. This video, supposedly leaked by a former NASA employee while orbiting the Earth from space, apparently shows the fabled Black Knight satellite in action. According to theorists, the Black Knight satellite is actually thousands of years old and made by extraterrestrials, not humans. Many people believe that NASA is going to great lengths to cover up the existence of this foreign object, as well as whoever created it. The video itself looks pretty old, possibly from the 60s or 70s. The quality is grainy due to either aging or CGI effects. Based on what you've seen here, Tell me if you think this is a real cover-up or just video editing. While crossing a bridge on a foggy night, this motorist witnessed a live vanishing act. Posted to TikTok, a biker is seen up ahead. The motorist looks right and then left while crossing the bridge. The biker is still in front of him, but he is getting more and more lost in the fog, and then suddenly the biker disappears altogether, even as the fog clears up ahead. Where did he go? Wherever he went, humans were clearly not meant to see it. A YouTuber named Tracy Slaughter and her family hear a disturbance at the top of the steps, and they grab the camera to record what they are seeing for proof. It starts out very hard to see at first, but soon a pale white outline slowly appears against the wall. The head becomes visible in the very center of the room where the two wall patterns meet.
I didn't say lights.
Oh
you didn't say lights? Did you say go across? A light go across the top of the landing.
If you still don't see it, don't feel bad. The next part is much more obvious. Keep looking at the center of the stairway to see it.
It's only just gone across the top of the landing, and that's moving.
Can you ever see it?
Oh,
A being of pure white energy rushes down the steps and heads straight at them. If you play it in slow motion, you can see something actually comes around the corner and charges down the steps at them, sending everyone scattering. I guess this could be special effects, but I would like to get your opinion. The way everyone screams at the exact same time with true panic in their voices makes me think it could be real, in which case I'm glad they got out of there fast. If it was rushing forward to possess one of them, then I truly hope it does not succeed. A team of cryptid hunters make a wild discovery deep in the woods of North Carolina. In the Uari National Forest is where they find a mysterious imprint that extends 13 inches long. They think this is not a footprint but a handprint, with oversized knuckles at one end and a wide base of the palm at the other.
Hey guys, I'll show you what we just found. We got us a 13-inch tracker, just a little over. We sure did. We got toe prints. We got the break in the middle. Right here. Yes, sir.
I kind of see what they mean, but I'm not sure if this is from a cryptid or not. It kind of looks like where a rock could have been or something. I'm also wondering why there aren't any prints to accompany this alleged handprint, but at the same time, I don't have a solid explanation for what caused this, and was wondering what you think about this extra creepy sighting in the woods.
Well guys, so far we found what looks like to be either handprint or knuckle prints again. And we just come across this track right here, so. That's awesome. That is awesome.
What is that, dude?
A single strange light in the sky has a YouTuber named Jesse Tablebeast looking up with curiosity and horror.
Yeah, it's definitely flying, whatever it is.
He and his friend decide to drive towards this strange blinking light and investigate what it could be. This still image taken at 4 minutes and 58 seconds gives us a better look at it. A disc-like object floating in the air. There's an intense light coming from the bottom and also a small circular dome on top. They don't know what it is, and neither does anyone else. A minute later, they are at the source of the light, which is much larger now but still just as unexplained. They think the light is coming from a nearby power plant, but it's too dark and rainy to tell, so they go home without knowing for certain. This light, while bizarre, might be from a busted power generator, but if that were the case, then you'd think the light would be low to the ground and constant. The light is high in the air. Tell me what you think it is. J-Game has been having problems with a stalker lately who has been coming around his home dressed like a clown. He is pretty sure it is just some local high school students who watch his channel, but lately they've been growing bolder and now something new has pushed him to his absolute breaking point.
I'm scared to be in my own house like that. That's a problem. This is Max.
One day, he returns home only to find a creepy letter inside of a tattered envelope with red stains all over. The outside says, "We followed you home," and the inside says that they are going to come for him at 2 o'clock. Instead of calling the police, J-Game decides to handle this problem himself. He keeps his camera rolling and waits at home all day for them to come over. Hours later, 2 loud bangs from outside send a jolt of adrenaline coursing through him. Instead of rushing out the door, he sneaks upstairs to get a better look at his adversary. He sees someone dressed like a clown with a scary mask and bright orange hair. The person doesn't look very large, maybe about the size of a high schooler, but it's the menacing posture combined with the baseball bat that keeps J-Game away. He waits a long time before going outside, where he finds the gate has been left wide open. It seems like they are gone for the time being, but who knows when they will be back again. Did you ever pull an all-nighter in a haunted house? Paranormal investigators Dennis and Tim pair up as Nerve Paranormal to spend the night in this haunted place. They set up cameras and a tape recorder inside. First, a shadow in the corner is seen.
Стояла будто бы тень вот так в углу. Да? Я тебе что хочу сказать-то? Смотри. Смотри. Я эту фигню закрывал.
Once they have the cameras positioned, they go to sleep.
Ну все, в принципе. Заснуть. Положиться. Я не знаю, после этого все.
Something immediately messes with their camera. And then their lights. Another camera captures something entering their room. You're probably asking yourself, how could they sleep through all that racket? Well, they won't sleep through this. There's nothing inside, but there definitely is, and I think Dennis and Tim won't be getting any more sleep tonight. If you've ever wanted to visit Hogwarts, here's your chance.
This is crazy, dude. This is my first time seeing it too. I made sure, I've seen a few pictures online, but barely any because I didn't want to see it. This is
YouTuber Abandoned World Explorer explores what he calls an abandoned Hogwarts hidden in the woods. Once inside, they find the place incredibly intact.
It's incredible that a lot of the books are still here. Everything is still here, but just been packed away. And maybe explorers have got stuff out again and put it back out. I'm not sure.
Some of the furniture is a bit out of place.
So I don't know why furniture's been chucked all like this. Up into the tower. I'm gonna come down the tower afterwards.
He finds a marble fireplace with incredible finishing.
Just everything, the way everything's gilded and it's like brass finish on a marble leg. And a candlestick kind of light shade they've made, and it does look like a candle.
Up the stairway, he finds a second piano and some unfortunate graffiti.
So if I remember rightly, at the top of the stairs there used to be a piano, and it still is there. This is what I don't like, and I think this is what the locals are getting sick of. The wrong kind of explorers coming and ruining these places.
Although the explorers don't capture any paranormal activity, this abandoned place does have a special energy.
The way you used to hide things as well, Josh. Like plugs on the floor.
Well, the plugs will be on the floor. I'm just showing off this real quick.
Oh, it's beautiful, a lot of the furniture.
I want this.
Just a detail, yeah.
To me, it's sad that such a magnificent place would be abandoned. I hope that someone takes the time to preserve and restore it, at least for history's sake. 3 bankers have a conversation during a slow day when the silhouette of a child darts across the empty lobby. Watch this part and try to translate what is said immediately after.
I
The lobby area gets plenty of sunlight, and yet the figure looks completely covered by shade. Not a single detail is visible as it runs by, which makes this CGI or a shadow person. And when they go over to where it just was, nothing is there at all. You never hear the door open or any footsteps. It's simply gone. Leo Streetski claims to have been possessed by a demonic force during the making of these two videos. The majority of the first 20-minute video is simply him glaring at a camera with a demented, menacing expression while pacing from room to room. Often, he films out the window at nothing in particular, almost as if he is frantically searching for someone to give him further instructions. The few times he does speak, his voice is harsh and strained. During this part, I think he says something like "exit here now," followed by a maniacal laugh. Exit here now. Again, he returns to the window to look for something only he can see. It's hard to say if Leo is faking these videos or really thinks he is possessed. Both of these videos only have a handful of views and are very long, so I don't think he is doing this for attention. Neutralizer Ghosts is the name of a paranormal investigation channel in Indonesia that has some really creepy videos. Beyond the outskirts of town lies a ghost colony, and sometimes a paranormal entity or two will wander into some local houses to haunt.
Partner-partnermu, atau pacar-pacarmu.
This one looks small and frail, bound tightly in burial garbs. It has sentience and follows the investigator's movements with its head. He talks to it for a little bit and seems to ask questions in the hopes that it will answer.
Aku yo kesel ket mangga sekitar ngetera nemu apa-apa. Saya gak tak barbari. Ini enaknya kita apain teman-teman sih.
The mysterious figure never offers an explanation. They never seem to. He attempts to rip off its face covering and the spirit quickly disappears. He checks all around the area and no longer sees or senses it's near. The paranormal exploration continues for a while until he's convinced the town is clear. Maybe next time he'll get a hold of its robes and finally reveal the spirit figure's true face. If you happen upon a site where a sacrificial ritual was performed, run far, far away. YouTube channel, Se Investiga Cazadores de Lendas, was exploring this abandoned place when they came across just such a sight. They enter a room with lifeless animals and a pentagram on the wall. On the ground is a ponytail of hair and candles. There's a burnt animal skull on the wall.
Tudo aconteceu onde tudo acontece. As coisas apareceram aqui. Foi da última vez também que ele apareceu de ponta cabeça aqui na parede.
As they're in this creepy room, they hear a noise. Soon their flashlights start to go haywire, and when the light turns back on, a demon has taken hold of one of them.
Minha lanterna não quer acender também.
Nossa, tá olha aqui. Meu Deus! Que é isso, Adriano? Que é isso, cara? Que é essa, velho? Pelo amor de Deus!
Later, they return to the room and see this. Well, it's not clear to me what this demon clown is or what the creature in black wanted from them. One thing is clear, they shouldn't be here.
Here I am. Hey, come. Here I am. Come on out.
Every day, this YouTuber has a neighbor challenge him to come outside of his apartment to settle an imaginary score. Just to be completely clear, these people have never interacted before. This still doesn't stop her from bothering him outside of his door almost every day. At times it seems as if she imagines an answer from him. Like this part, for example. I think she hears something in her own mind, tells him to try it, and then hears another response that never happened.
Here I am, wet pump. Try it. Kiss me.
Perhaps weirdest of all is how the videos are dated throughout November and December, yet she always appears to be wearing the same outfit. Perhaps she is past the point of keeping basic hygiene habits and needs to be taken somewhere safe that can care for her. In the meantime, I hope she gets the help she needs. Does this janitor have some ghostly helpers he isn't even aware of? Published by Alan Abueg in June of 2018. This security footage captured something unexpected. A janitor is seen sweeping up outside a school. As he works patiently, something is seen rolling up on its own behind him. A closer look shows that it's a pair of stand-up dustpans. They both slide toward the wall, filling in one after the other. The janitor doesn't even notice. If spirits are doing the dirty work, at least they seem helpful rather than malicious. Do you believe in teleportation? This video may convince you. Published to YouTube by Esocentric and Paranormal World in February of 2019. This dashcam video shows a figure teleporting into the middle of a busy street, resulting in a traffic mishap. In the clip, vehicles are barreling down a highway when all of a sudden, a figure dressed in black seems to fall through a glitch in the matrix and right onto the scene. The white vehicle in front of the source with the dashcam moves out of the way just in time, avoiding the figure by mere feet. The teleporting figure moves off to the side, but is seen bending over, as if sick, or maybe as if to crouch down out of view. The driver gets out of his vehicle, but doesn't approach the teleporter. The car with the dashcam simply drives off. It's unclear if any investigation into the strange occurrence followed. Mapap Bare in the comments suggests this person got out of the car. Others agree that the man either jumped out, fell out, or was forced out. If that's the case though, wouldn't you see a car door fling open? All the doors on this vehicle appear to be closed the entire time. It's a conundrum, but don't worry, we have plenty of time to figure this one out. Sean learned about summoning Bloody Mary from a friend. He thought about it for a couple days and then decided to try it for himself to see what happens. First, he tries to summon her with the lights on, and he isn't surprised when that method doesn't work. Next, he tries it with the lights off, which is something that he is a little hesitant to do, and with good reason too. He says her name 3 more times, and this is what he sees.
God!
The hunched over figure behind him gives him a startle, and Sean turns out the lights just to make the terrifying scene go away. When he turns the lights back on, she has vanished. Just like in other videos, the doorknob gets jammed as he tries to leave, and then it suddenly releases. He retreats into the main area of his house and the video ends. I will say that this video could very well be fake. Maybe Bloody Mary is really just his sister or someone else he knows. His reaction seems a little off too, kind of like it could have been staged, but then again, he might have been really frightened and just trying to keep his cool for the camera. It's hard to tell for certain. That's what this YouTuber thinks about Bloody Mary after making this video. He says her name way more than 3 times and then begins to taunt her out loud.
Are you real Bloody Mary? Or are you just a f***ing joke? Did y'all just hear that?
Still not convinced, the brave teen says her name some more and waits. It isn't long before he gets his reply.
Do that. What's going on here?
Drawers are opening on their own, the faucet turns on, and he soon concludes that Bloody Mary is very real after all. He goes to grab the door and finds that it won't budge. He puts his hands on top of his head now, obviously distressed. Just when he is sure that he's a goner, he manages to open the door and make an escape. Luisito Comunica enters a graveyard in Argentina meant for millionaires to see what the afterlife is like for the rich. After he is taking a personal tour in a cemetery that's supposed to be empty, he twice fails to see what many later insist was a shadow person lurking nearby. This possible ghost sighting over his shoulder is giving a lot of people the creeps. I think it was weird at first, but now I think it could have just been another person taking a tour. This encounter at 9 minutes and 55 seconds is what has many people convinced that this is a ghost, but I think I have a different explanation. The first person is wearing all black and does look creepy, but if you look closely you can see a second person is walking with him, and therefore this is almost definitely just a couple taking an afternoon stroll and nothing more. This isn't paranormal in my opinion, but with almost 8 million views and new comments coming in all the time, I just wanted to analyze this video and put the rumors of this video to rest. Still, you should always watch out for strange people while on vacation, especially in a cemetery. It's 1:40 in the morning and two friends are cruising down a dark road, completely unable to see what's on the other side. They both think that they spot movement in the trees, and having nothing better to do, they pull over and shine their headlights into the area. Nothing happens for some time, and then a figure slowly emerges from the dry brush. One of them says that they think this is a witch, and I agree that could be a possibility. They are dressed in all black and hunched over holding what appears to be a walking stick. If this is not fake and that's not a third friend, then I can't imagine what anybody would be doing walking in complete darkness all alone, especially so late at night. A YouTuber named All-in-One Gaming is watching television when a flash of light catches his eye. He looks out his window only to see a shady person trying to gain entry to a nearby shed. All-in-One Gaming is stunned by the situation for a full minute before he remembers that he has motion sensor lights. He quickly activates them and sends the intruder running.
I turn on the light. Holy shit.
It is not clear if this person is simply looking to take property or if they are one of his thousands of fans who somehow got his home address. If this was a stalker, then who knows what they would have done if they had gotten to him. What do you see here? Posted to the Paranormal Video subreddit, Redditor Upstairs Bicycle 1721 wants some sort of explanation for this mysterious clip. Let's take a look. The mysterious vertical rods hover side by side in front of the camera for a moment before one of them takes off and disappears out of sight. The second figure slowly drifts right until it's out of frame. Nearly everyone in the comments is perplexed by this video. Although I don't think this is a spider web either, I don't have any rational ideas as to what they could be. Do you have an explanation? Watch your brains. There's a zombie on the loose. Published by Mr. Illusion in February of 2022, this YouTuber captured what he thinks is a zombie on camera. Dressed all in black, the figure lurches through the high grass. On closer inspection, he appears to be missing his cranium. Despite this, the crew follows this creepy figure, who also looks to be carrying a tool or small hatchet in his hand. He weaves through the woods, off on a mission to do what? I'm not quite sure. Is this a zombie? Or something out of the mind of Ichabod Crane? YouTube team Memoria Sobernatural Inc. enters this haunted school, and he encounters the wrath of Lucifer. As he is introducing the place, he quickly realizes he's unwelcome.
E vamos aí com mais Memória Sobrenatural. Rapaz. Opa. Aí estralou aqui, pessoal. Estralou aqui, ó.
In that same room, something is hiding.
Quanta coisa. Já tiveram aparições aqui, ó. Nesse lugar. Escuta. Existe algo aqui? Rapaz, olha isso.
Something invisible, and it continues to taunt him.
Ali, ó. Cara, é impressionante, pessoal. Opa! Olha isso, cara, dá uma olhada, cara, olha isso, pessoal, dá uma olhada pro minha ruga aqui, ó. Cara, eu esqueci de ligar até a lanterna de testa, cara.
Whatever is here has trapped a man.
Olha isso, mano, dá uma olhada nisso, pessoal. Cara, olha isso. Olha isso. Olha isso, cara, impressionante. Cara, assim, opa.
And it's playing with his mind.
Cara, o lugar aqui é hiper mega pancada. Opa! Cara, dá uma olhada nisso, pessoal. Cara, olha isso. Opa. Cara, olha isso. Dá uma olhada, pessoal, dá uma olhada. Cara, é impressionante.
Is Lucifer driving this car?
Opa! Cara, olha isso.
If he is, he's invisible.
Nas últimas vezes aqui, pessoal, foi hiper. Opa, escuta. Rapaz! Olha isso. Olha isso, cara. A porta abriu desse jeito. Olha isso.
The ghost hunter gets inside the vehicle and is nearly trapped.
Cara, olha isso, mano. Olha isso, pessoal.
Things just keep getting worse.
Isso aqui pra mim, eu peço. Opa, olha isso, mano. Olha isso, cara. Impressionante, minha nossa.
How are these big pieces of furniture moving on their own? He sees something in the window of the car. I can't really detect what he's making out here. If anything, I think it's pareidolia, but that definitely doesn't discount all the other paranormal activity we've witnessed here. This looks like a legit haunting to me. I don't know how this would have been orchestrated otherwise. After setting up a camera in her home, YouTuber Kathy Nito turns out the light, and what comes after just might be a ghost. Watch for the white thing once Kathy is distracted. Do you see that? Kathy believes this is a ghost. Well, I don't think it's a bug, as it appears to be too large and chaotic to be an insect. I'm not sure if my first thought would jump to the paranormal. It looks more like a spider web or some other flying debris to me. Still, whatever it is, it's creepy. Do you have any ideas as to what this could be? As it turns out, nostalgia isn't always a good thing. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Hey There, You Are Okay, the Redditor explains. So I was going through my old 3DS photos for nostalgia. The reason why I'm posting on this sub is because I'm not for sure if I caught anything in the background. Do you think it's younger me being scared? The video clip shows an empty bedroom. As he starts to scan the room, the video captures a dark room beyond. It's hard to tell if there's a window in that room. However, something appears to move there, or at least a shadow is cast that mimics movements. The camera passes upward to the ceiling, and when it returns to the closet, the shadow and light has changed a bit, but it's the next time the camera pans from one side to the other that the real change occurs. Explain these unknowable shadows. What is going on here? Is there something or someone in that room? No wonder the Redditor was freaked out. A YouTuber named Dylan HD decides to explore an abandoned house with some friends. The home still has some furnishings, including a wall full of creepy paintings of children. The far end of the house is completely dark, and they are hesitant to explore this section. Finally, one of them bravely goes into the darkened corner and comes back shaken. He announces someone is looking at them through the window. Pay attention to the thin beam of light behind him during this clip, because that's the window he's referring to.
So someone was at the window.
Act.
Someone was at the window.
Was.
gone really bright now. Is the window after open?
No, it's the same.
Oh!
The thin beam of light silently extinguishes as the window is closed by whoever was on the other side. It's important to note that all three friends were close together when this happened. One could be seen on tape. The second was holding the camera, and the third could be heard directly to their right. The trio runs screaming out of the house and never looks back. That's not sludge you're looking at. Published by Casey Spotlight, a creepy sludge-like creature was captured on film in the shallows of a lake. The figure looks squidgy, mushy, rubbery, and above all slimy. Its form seems malleable. Its movements is like an amoeba, altering its shape. It also appears to have a mouth, but one with no teeth and only grandma gums. Well, some in the comments say it's a leech. If that's the case, it's the biggest leech I've ever seen. What do you think it is? Any theories? A research team known as Ghost and Mystery wants to reveal all of the paranormal activity happening in their home country of Bangladesh, of which there is plenty to be found. They go exploring a haunted place in the woods. Everything in the forest seems to wail at them not to go inside. And someone tell me why they hear a child's voice while investigating this well.
Okay. যাই হোক হ্যালুসিনেশন বিষয়টা খেয়াল রাখবা সবাই অনেক পুরনো পটা দেখাও ভিতরে
Freaky, right? The same ghost child's voice returns once more after they find a way inside, perhaps to shout a warning. Look again. At 17 minutes 4 seconds, they briefly pause on a large figure next to a meat hook. That can't be good. One investigator feels overwhelmed by a paranormal feeling, a wave of negative energy if you will, and they need to rest. That's when they chance upon a makeshift stick hut in the woods behind the abandoned house. Wait, I see something really scary inside. Their light crosses the glowing eyes of a large figure standing on 2 legs. It's there for but a moment, and then the unknown creature sighting is no longer caught on camera. They end the paranormal exploration shortly after. It looks like this person is trying to do some repairs on their car. Maybe something's wrong with the air conditioning. Then I realize it's not a repair, it's a removal. A large snake appears to have crawled inside of the car, and the only way to get rid of it is through a game of reptilian tug of war. They struggle for almost 2 minutes, and lucky for him, the snake is too exhausted to strike when he drops it at 1 minute 45 seconds. Most people look for loose change while others have to look for loose snakes. This is definitely something I wasn't expecting. It goes to show you never really know what's lurking in your car. A YouTuber named Nadeshot is talking about all of the haunted happenings at his apartment when this weird anomaly appears over his shoulder at 6 minutes in.
I'm not sure if you guys have ever experienced anything like this. I want you to tweet me and put in some comments any story that you guys have.
I was thinking it could just be the way lights coming in from his blinds, but apparently Nadeshot's house has been haunted by strange lights practically forever. Look at what happens when he leaves the camera on during a ghost hunt 4 years prior. First, it falls off its tripod without making hardly so much as a sound. And then the sweeper falls over. Followed by flashes of light that last for about the same length of time as the anomaly from the video before. A YouTuber in Australia named Sir Makes a Lot is led by his excited child into the living room to check out a new toy he's been playing with.
Come on.
What he finds is this monster roach slowly pedaling away on freakishly long legs. The toy car is smaller than the bug itself. That's simply terrifying. And when you have a cockroach that's big enough to clog a vacuum cleaner, it's time to move. I mean, to a new continent. I don't think I could ever live in Australia with cockroaches that size roaming around. No offense, Australia. After all, we have towns here in Canada where polar bears wander around. Avery is almost 2 years old. He's happily babbling away in the kitchen when his mother starts to feel a strange presence. This has happened a few times before, so she decides to start recording. Normally, her child is very quiet, but every once in a while, he will become very active and start having a conversation with someone who neither of his parents could see.
Who are you talking to?
Avery's mother finds this behavior very perplexing, so she starts to ask him over and over who he is talking to. Finally, after the third or fourth time, she gets a sinister reply.
Who are you talking to?
Her child looks over his shoulder, almost as if someone is there. When he turns his back to her, a raspy voice says, "Ryan." Listen again with the sound up if you don't hear it. I guess this voice could be coming from Avery, but it sounds like it's coming from someplace much closer, almost right next to the camera. It almost sounds like a slightly different voice than Avery's. Maybe Ryan is a ghostly pal who is looking to make a new friend. An unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as a UAP, was captured at Dreamland in Dripping Springs, Texas, and shared by Redditor My Brian on Acid.
What are you doing?
Recording the alien spaceship.
Yeah, me too.
It's like not moving at all.
The uploader says another source reported on this same sighting.
And it's like way higher than the planes that just flew by. It's like further away. It's not moving at all.
Well, let's see if it's up there after we play.
The post the Redditor is referring to was captured by someone walking their dog who believed the UAP to be a planet, but once they looked at it through their binoculars, they noticed a dark center and a haze around the object. In the comments, Redditor Cronin Siglos appeared to crack the code, writing that it's a high-altitude balloon called an HBAL 604. After seeing one of these, I have to agree.
And it's like way higher than the planes that just flew by. It's like further away. It's not moving at all.
To YouTube by Scary Videos in November of 2015. This creepy CCTV footage shows a terrifying incident with a shadow ghost. According to the video, this incident occurred in an IT park in November of 2015. Around 6 p.m., a man is walking down the hallway. His shadow is cast on the wall at the end of the hall. As he turns the corner, another shadow suddenly springs from the adjacent hallway, running him into a corner. The man is thrown up against the wall by this evil shadow. He falls to the ground and the shadow drags him by the ankle across the corner. Somehow he manages to pull himself loose and flee, while the shadow figure stands for a moment and then disappears. It's just good he got away. I bet you'll never look at your shadow the same way again. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.